What's going on, everybody? Lewis Williams, iHustleNation.com. It might have been last week or maybe a week before last, I created a How Not to Raise a Bitch-Ass Son manual. A very easy manual for me to create, seeing as how I was raised, and my father wasn't in the home, and my mother did certain things as well as I picked up certain things along the way. And I looked at what could have been done in order to ensure certain things in my life. And I had a few parents send me emails. I'm getting parental emails, which is crazy to me. And, I got 2 or 3 emails and I ignored it. But then I started getting a lot of emails like, what about daughters? Well, I reached the wall because I'm like, I don't really know nothing about daughters. I'm not a girl. So, what could I do in reference to, making the manuals for, how to create a better daughter? Well, I have someone really close to me, actually near and dear to me, a real close friend of mine, and she shared her story with me on how she used to be a prostitute. And I know a lot of people probably look at that like, oh, well, she used to be a prostitute. We never know somebody's story. The reason she was got into prostitution was part of confusion, because she was actually molested by not only her real father, but her stepfather as well. So I don't, if you look at that timeline, she had been molested for a while. The father, and then he's gone. The mom meets a new guy. He molests her too. So, normally the turnout of that is not good. Currently, she's a married Christian woman, and one of the most stand-up women I know in my life in general. Like, she's a very solid woman. And if you knew like the past story, it would kind of throw you off a little bit. So when they started I got a few of the emails. I'm like, all right, let me. I got to do something. So I reached out to her because I knew she would know a lot more about woman being raised and not screwing it up than I would. And when I reached out to her, she said, yes, I will help you create that, but if you don't mind, I'd like to not put my name on it. The reason she didn't want to put her name on it is because she has kids and things of that nature, and although she's vocal and doesn't mind putting her story out there, she doesn't want it to be on a large scale. But I mean, if somebody asks her, she'll definitely tell you if she knows you like that. So she sent me all the information I needed in order to put a manual together for girls, and I have created that manual. The title of this manual is How to Make Sure Your Daughter Avoids Hoe Tendencies. Created by Lewis Williams III of iHustleNation.com and an ex-prostitute turned Christian. Now, the funny part is people probably, when I first posted it out there, like, y'all, I'm going to create a manual, how to make sure your daughter avoids hoe tendencies. People laughing like, oh, man, that's crazy. Oh, Lewis, you just crazy. Honestly, reading it gave me not only a whole nother kind of respect for women, but informative as hell, and honestly can see where most girls are screwed up at. Like, not only do you have a respect, and I'm already kind of forced to have a respect as far as perspective goes, because I do a show on Tuesday nights, and when people call in, I never want to assume they already know. Like, I had a girl, honestly, today being Tuesday, I did my show tonight, and a girl called in, and she was chasing a guy, and he was just all the way bitch nigga, all the way. So when talking to her, I was like, I don't want to assume what a real man is. She was like, yeah, my father was not what's up. I had no example of what a man is. So when the bitch nigga was putting her through the ringer, she thought that was norm. And if her mother probably would have had a manual like this, in order to still be able to instill certain values in your, because the purpose of these manuals is to instill, because let's be honest, it's 2011. We got broken homes all over this bitch. Like, either the daddy ain't there, which is the norm. The mom ain't there, which ain't necessarily the norm. But, you want to cover all aspects. You never want to assume. I've seen some single father guys and the mama just, she's flipped out. So when I created the manual, I looked at it in terms of this is something that can actually help. Because when talking to the girl the whole time, I'm thinking her mama could have really used this manual. Now, I will not take credit for this manual. 90% of this manual is wrote by the ex-prostitute turned Christian. 90%. I might have put my maybe 10 to 12% input on a few things. But I will not lie. This manual is all her. And this is a pretty damn solid manual. When reading it, I'm like, wow. This is really strong. And we've never actually encountered somebody, the majority of us, who's been through, certain things and actually been through it, came out of it, and will give back. Because most people go through it, come out of it and won't give back. So she's more so, I'll give back what happened to me and what can be better if this will help people. And like I told her, I said it'll help them all day. I'm not a girl. I don't know how to make this manual. Like I'm man enough to know when I can't do something. That's why I called her. Cause what I look like, y'all, this how your daughter ain't gonna have hoe tendencies. Take, the manual is gonna help. But who better to make a manual on how to make sure your daughter don't have hoe tendencies than an ex-hoe? A current hoe, you gotta be an ex. Because a current hoe, she's still a hoe. She can't help me. But an ex-hoe turned Christian can help me a great deal. So I won't take full credit. 90% of this manual was made by her. 10% of my input in formatting and structuring, but that's it. It was all her. So here's how I feel with all these manuals. Purchase it even if you know everything. It got to be at least one thing in there that can help you. And if it's one thing in there that can help you, that's a good thing. So have one for the sons, how not to raise a bitch ass son. Now we have how to make sure your daughter avoids hoe tendencies. So I will not be expecting any more parental emails saying, what about the girls? I done got something out here for the girls, y'all. And I want to again give credit to the ex-prostitute because the manual wouldn't have been done if it wasn't for her. She wants to remain anonymous because she like, I'm grown. I don't want my name on it. So I said, if you don't put your name on it, girl, I'm going to just have to call it like an ex-prostitute turned Christian. She say, I don't care. Just don't put my name on it. But I will give the information. So 90% of this is from the anonymous ex-prostitute turned Christian. And this is a solid read. I have a whole new respect for women. A whole new respect for women. I've always had a respect for y'all. But I have another perspective of respect for women. So, how to make sure your daughter avoids hoe tendencies. Go to iHustleNation.com, click manuals, and that manual will be there for you. Once again, I am Lewis Williams of iHustleNation.com, and I always and forever do appreciate your time. Thanks.